State of Utah Capitol building. That's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. Looks very clean and neat. I like it.
Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn my thirst and desire. You transform out of in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn a thirst and
Hey y'all, hey, how you doing? How are you? How's your day? How's your night? I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to my channel, y'all. My name is Sasha. If you are new, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, my Loyal Royals. So good to see you. If you are new to the fam, welcome to the family, my new Loyal Royals. So good to finally meet you. So, as you can see from the thumbnail and the title, I took a little trip to Salt Lake City, Utah. And it was definitely a phenomenal experience. So if you're interested in learning about what I did and how it was for me in Salt Lake, as well as my little mini review of American Airlines, please continue watching all the way through, as I do have something special to tell you at the very end of the video. So with all that being said, let's get into it. So Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is a city that not going to even lie, I did not really know that much about up until the very first time I went. The first time I went to Salt Lake City, it was 2010, and it was in December of that year. And at the time when I went, I flew US Airways. And if anyone knows, US Airways is of course no longer around, as they merged with, I believe it was American. They merged with American. So US Airways gone, but they were the first ride for me out to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake in itself, well, Utah in itself. Utah is a Mormon state. They are very conservative, but the experience I had overall was very, very nice. The people were nice, and the experience was very pleasant. And even though I didn't have any hard time, or I didn't feel threatened in any way, shape, or form, or anything like that. And even though I saw very few people that looked like me, my brother was a very good tour guide. So he showed me around, showed me some things. He and his fiance were a very good host for me while I was out there. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty of my trip. So as you can see from the video currently going across the screen, Utah sits, like, literally it's a whole big valley. Salt Lake City sits in that valley. And I didn't realize that Salt Lake was broken up into different areas. As my brother would explain to me, what most people think when they hear Utah, they automatically think Salt Lake City. They think skiing, snowboarding, and all that stuff. But it's like how when people hear Baltimore, they think Baltimore is just this one giant area. No, Baltimore is broken up into many different parts. Randallstown, Pikesville, Glen Burnie, etc. Salt Lake City is the same way. There's different miniature areas that it's broken up into. And each area has its own share of things to do. I did notice when I looked on TripAdvisor, majority of things I saw were religion related. And while I am religious, I kind of wanted to go and do things outside of that. And it was definitely interesting, so to speak. So when I landed in Utah, down in Salt Lake City, everything popped up. Like things around, like in the things to do area, they all popped up. And at first I asked my brother, is this something that people do when they get here? Or is Utah or Salt Lake City just not publicized like, most areas? And he said, it's not the fact that it's not publicized, it's just because it's a Mormon state, the biggest attractions are going to be like the temples and things like that. But when you get here, you can pretty much just go around yourself and see what's what. So that's pretty much what we did. And the food was amazing. We went to this one spot, and as you can see from the video that's currently playing, the food was absolutely delicious. The place that we were at in the video is called the Garage Grill. I will leave a link down below in the description box of where that's at. It's in Draper, Utah, which is outside of Salt Lake City. And I highly recommend you go try them. Please go try them. This video is not sponsored by them, but I recommend that you go and try them. The Garage Grill. Another place that my brother had taken me to was Apollo Burger, and it was very unique. I liked it. I don't remember what I got. I'll put it up on the screen. I'll put the video on the screen. And it was just chef's kiss. Like the fries and the burgers and everything was just cooked perfectly. We also went to a spot. We went to a planetarium that they had taken me to. And although we didn't have time to really go through the planetarium itself, but we went and saw a show at the planetarium. And it was called, I think it's called like The Birth of Planet Earth. And it was sort of giving a detail of what Earth was like when it was being formed in the solar system. And it was in their dome, in the dome. It was in the dome of the planetarium. So it's one of those domes where you kind of like just lean back and you look up at the screen, and it's like surround sound and all that. It was really cool, really nice. And I got to see the Capitol building, as you can see from this video. State of Utah Capitol building. That's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. Looks very clean and neat. The Capitol building. To me, in a way, all the capitals look alike, but I like the fact that I got to see it anyway. So that was fun. But it was nice. And then even with the fact that it was like 45 to 50 degrees out there, it was a different feel of cold. It wasn't like frigid 45, 50 degrees, but it was nice. Like the air was very, like the air is dry. But I guess it's all because of the fact too that Salt Lake City sits in a valley. So the valley is protected by the mountains, and the mountains kind of like, I guess, block any excess frigid temperature from blowing through or something like that. I don't know. But it was definitely an interesting experience. And so to speak, the mountains are gorgeous in the day, but man, they look haunting at night. Very haunting at night. But it's definitely interesting to see how different Utah is in comparison to where I live on the East Coast. And even though my own state sits in a valley, well, the area I live in my state sits in a valley, it's definitely different. And we're also close to water as well. And it's so sad to see that I think it's called the Great Salt Lake, that particular, I guess it's like a lake. The lake is like drying up. But when we were coming in for a landing, I didn't even know that was water because of how different it looks. The water, it was very like murky looking. But from what someone told me is that it's drying up and it's also heavily polluted. I don't know. Oh, I remember it was, it was like on the news or something. I saw that it was like the area is getting more and more polluted. But I happened to go out there at a very good time because it was a pleasant experience altogether. But I definitely recommend, if you've never been to Salt Lake City or Utah in itself, go. I definitely recommend go because there is a lot to do. You just have to really like know where to look. For me, my family's I have some family out there, so they were able to give me a sort of up and close and personal experience out there of what it's like, things to do, things to see, places to go, places to eat, that kind of thing. There are different tours and things you can do through groups like TripAdvisor or other things like that. But I would recommend just going and just kind of like self-exploring around. Go in the summer, go in the winter. Well, not winter, because when it snows in Utah, it snows. So, but I highly recommend going. This is one where if you are a solo Black female traveler, go for it. Go for it. Go and have fun. There's a lot to do out there. I am a nature nerd, so I prefer, if I wasn't going somewhere else in the summer, I would be heading back to Salt Lake City to go and do the trails and things in the mountains. But other than that, I recommend definitely take a trip to Salt Lake City. Go see the sights, go see the people, go see the temples, go try the food, different things like that, and just enjoy it. Life is short, so enjoy your life to the fullest. So Now on to my review of American Airlines. I flew American probably once or twice before this trip, and it was a good experience. It was a good experience. It was a good experience this time around too, because I had a connecting flight coming through Charlotte to come back home, and they left on time. Both flights were on time, which I highly appreciated, especially the fact that I had to work the same night that I got back home. But I definitely appreciated it. The staff were very professional. When I say very, it's like stern professional, but they got their job done. They got everybody boarded, everybody seated, ready to go, and we pushed back on time. The first flight was on the Airbus A321, and now I see why pilots make the joke about the Airbus and a squeaky noise whenever it like squeaks. I'm assuming that's something to do with the suspension, but when I heard that squeaky noise, all I could think is to one of my pilot friends when he was telling me about when he flew on an Airbus and they were constantly hearing this squeaky noise, and it literally sounds like bed springs squeaking. But it's nothing wrong with the plane. That's literally just an Airbus thing. You will not hear that on a Boeing plane. But I thought that was funny because I literally laughed to myself when I heard that. And then of course we were on a 737-800 when we got back going from Charlotte to take me home. But I like it. I will definitely continue to fly American. I hope one day to fly their business class, or, you know, try something else as far. I think they have first, something like that. I think they have first class, but I know they have business class for sure on the flight that we flew. But I hope to fly that business class at some point. So that's my review of American. Definitely recommend them. That was my review of my little Salt Lake City trip. I highly recommend you go and try Salt Lake City. So with this one, all I can say is enjoy life, live it to the fullest, because life is short. Just go and enjoy yourself, have a good time, go places, try new things, meet new people. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a thumbs up. If you like aviation and travel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel. Please go follow me on Twitter at DragonPink07. And there's one final thing I wish to say. Flying back on American, we were on the Airbus, and of course we're flying in its complete darkness. The airplane is dark when in the cabin, it's dark outside. I look out the window and I see the stars. I see the stars. And to see the stars that clear, it was just awesome. It was just amazing. And it just makes you think just how wonderful life really is. So maybe one day I'll get to see have the opportunity to see the Northern Lights. But to see the stars that clear to the point of even seeing a band of the Milky Way, yeah.